it's crazy because the other day I was sitting here and I just thought about some young guys that 3-on-3 team that I would put together to dominate. And Naz Reid, animal. Naz Reid would destroy them dudes. Naz Reid guys fits in the league.
Folks, if this turns out to be true, it's gonna be massive for the Warriors. Naz Reid could opt out of his contract. That's the news that it came out, the rumors, and it makes sense for me. We're gonna discuss that today. And the Warriors are the favorites to land Naz Reid and would fit really well. I actually didn't bring about him in my yesterday ranking. You can check on the on the channel when I mentioned the top 10 centers that the Warriors could go for. But he's also an option. Is that there's some tricks there about his positioning, but let's discuss that today. Naz Reid would fit and would fit a lot of the things that we are looking for in this season: the size, the shooting. Let's talk all of this. Why Naz Reid would opt out of his contract, right? He has a 15 million player option with the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Timberwolves have a lot of salary as well as any other team in the league. They are trying to stay on that first apron cap space. And Naz Reid, actually, I think if he goes to the market, including the Warriors, he can make more than that. So it's likely, and I agree with the rumors, that he's going to opt out of that, or at least try to renegotiate with the Minnesota Timberwolves to trade or something like this. Makes more sense for anyone and for everyone, including Naz Reid and the Warriors, if he doesn't sign and then the Warriors could lend him what it would take for me probably around 20 million. Let's talk more about that in a minute. So look at this. The Golden State Warriors are the favorites to land Naz Reid, and including other teams that he would also fit. The Brooklyn Nets is the only one that you see there that actually have space, so probably would be the ones to offer him more. But would he in the Brooklyn Nets fill the gap and make everything that they need for? No. On the other hand, in the Warriors, he would join another team that he actually beat, right? He was part of the Minnesota Timberwolves this season, but he would join a team that has been growing, that despite losing, finished the season well compared to where we started, right? After landing Jim Butler. And he would immediately achieve something that the Minnesota Timberwolves were not able to provide him yet, that is a starting position. Now, as we come to the Warriors, he's that starting center. We move Draymond Green to that number 4 spot, the power forward, and Naz Reid become the center. That's the difference that I mentioned about the Timberwolves, and why I didn't include him in the ranking that I did yesterday, is because he actually there multiple times was coming together with Rudy Gobert. He was coming from the bench and actually playing that number 4. Originally, he's a number 5, and he could fit that spot on the Warriors, right? He would immediately come to be part of our starting 5, and I think it would be a massive upgrade. So when you look to his stats, right, when you look at Naz Reid's stats, he is why I said that he brings a lot of the things that we need. The size, right? Let's start with the size. He brings a size like Kevin Looney, like Tracy Jackson, but he's a lot more skilled than both of those guys. He brings a lot of more points. He was coming out of from the bench in the Minnesota. He was actually 2 seasons ago in the 2023-24, the 6th man of the year. He is a great shooter. He doesn't bring a massive amount of rebounds, but he can take that spot that we need there as well. And has done all of that. For example, last season, as you can see, averaging 27 minutes. He could be landing like a 30 something with the Warriors, right, in a starting 5. So he brings that size. He allows us to not play Draymond Green as a starting center, as a number 5. He brings shooting. He would stretch the floor, and I think he would improve even more pairing and playing with Stephen Curry, right? Remember how much Curry draws attention and how much any shooter becomes better when actually they have Stephen Curry on the floor. Do not say Dante DiVincenzo when he was a Warriors, Otto Porter Jr. You have more recently Buddy here, like when he was with Curry as well, because the space and the playmaking that Curry provides and draw attentions on defenders and allow these guys to get even better looking 3-point opportunities. And so I think all the numbers that you are seeing for Naz Reid here, it could even jump if he joins the Warriors. And that's why it would make sense for him. You join a team that is still a playoff contender, that can be a championship title contender, and you take that starting position that you never had, you still will make more money. I think he can land at the Warriors around like a 20 million deal, 20 something, more than the 15 that he has with the Minnesota Timberwolves right now. So it's good for him and fill that gap, like the scoring gap that the Warriors are looking for, the sizing gap that the Warriors are looking for. I think it's like, it fits really well, like a perfect glove right now for the Warriors and for him. And he would still stay in the West Conference that he knows really well. He's 6 years already in the league, only 25 years old. So it's young, has still a long run with the Warriors. He could make more money in the future, because then you start having like those big salaries going on in 2-3 years. So it's a lot of opportunity. And for the Warriors, this is a take, right? If he can steal that, because I do think he's going to draw attention in the market right now. But if the Warriors can land him, it solves a lot of the problems that we need. And we probably, with 1 or 2 more moves, using the mid-level exception and the Jonah Kuminga sign and trade that we can talk later as well, you would close the roster for the Warriors. So this is a perfect take for us right now. What we need to look at, right? So what I was saying, this is the last year's contract that he had. He had a 13 million contract when he was, a 12 million contract when he was a sixth man of the year. Then he came to this season and he has the player option next season. I don't think he's going to take it, but it clearly is defined that for the Warriors or any other team to land Naz Reid right now, he would be asked for something, I believe, between 20 to 25 million. So how can the Warriors make that happen, right? Obviously, we have to let some players go in this offseason. That's assuming that we are not resigning Jonah Kuminga. So there's a lot of it, but that can happen. Like, we could use this and then bring this size, bring another shooter or a guard with the mid-level exception. We have the Anthony Melton, that could be an option as well. But I think this is a first move that the Warriors should heavily invest, and it would solve a lot of the gaps, as I said. The size, and with the small ball lineup, allow Draymond Green to move to a power forward position where I think he shines even more. And remember, even playing as a 5 for so many games, which is hard for him as well. Draymond Green was an all defensive team this year. So I think another guy that is good on the defense as well as Naz Reid, pairing with Jim Butler, Draymond Green, the Warriors get even better on the defense side, get that shooting. So this is a perfect move that the Warriors should invest. I want to know your thoughts. When you look, for example, to the top 10 centers that I mentioned yesterday, and you look to Naz Reid as well, where would you go? Would you sign anyone else, or would you invest, assuming that he accepts to land for a 20-25 million for this in this offseason, opting out of his 15 million with the Timberwolves? Would you do that, a 20-25 million for Naz Reid? I don't think, just to wrap it up, I don't think that any other team would offer a lot more than that. Remember, the Warriors are not the only team in the league right now controlling that apron and cap space. Everyone else is in this situation. The only team that has a little bit more space is the Brooklyn Nets. And again, I think Naz Reid would fit the Brooklyn Nets as any other team, but it doesn't solve all their problems. And the Nets already have Nick Claxton, right? So it's more interesting, my point of view, even for Naz Reid, to join the Golden State Warriors. Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe and have a great day.